Coleus, Impatiens, Zinnias, and Marigolds are all in. We up potted and we started some new. Let's hang out together and let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. We are going to up pot some of our young seedlings that we've started, and today we are focusing on all of our flowers, and we're going to start some more seeds. So the theme today are flowers, or should I say flowers that's got to do some work this upcoming season. Hi everyone, welcome back to Kim's Cozy Corner. I've been traveling for the last 2 weeks. I've been home a whopping 48 hours in between those 2 weeks. Not even 48 hours, less than 48 hours for those 2 weeks. And now I'm home for a few weeks and I need to catch up on a few things. I've been giving you weekly updates on how the garden's been doing. And these are all of the flowers that we've started before. We started these several weeks before, actually. Where's my book? And I'll tell you exactly when, because I added it to my seed starting journal. So we started all of these flowers right here on January 21st. That's when we started all of these flowers. So I planted Coleus right here. This is Coleus. I think it's a mixed Coleus. And then these Coleus right here are seeds that I actually harvested from my own plants last season or 2 seasons ago. So I got Coleus. And then I have several different varieties of Impatiens. I also had begonias, but y'all, the begonias didn't come up, so we didn't get begonias this year. And so we're going to up pot all of these today and get them ready. Now, all of these plants needed anywhere from about, the Impatiens needed 10 weeks to get them ready to go outside. Begonias was 12, which they didn't come up, so we don't have to worry about those. And the Coleus was 6 to 8 weeks. So we are going to up pot them. So that's the plan. And then we're going to plant a few more seeds, but I need to make room first just to see where we're going to put everything. So we're going to do the up potting first. Flower seeds are a little different from my vegetable seeds. A lot of them are so fine that you don't even bury them. So there's a video out there of when I started these seeds, and here's the thumbnail for that video. A lot of these we surface sowed. You just barely just press them down into the top and then they'll come up. Some of these need light, some don't need light. So please make sure you're reading your seed packs and understand what type flowers that you have. Came up, that's been 5 weeks ago at this point. So we are halfway there. Half of the growing time I need before I put them out is already up. And they're still in these teeny little cells with like 500 flowers in there. So we're going to get those up potted right now. And I'm going to show you the process that I'm going to use. It's no different than how we up pot our vegetables. You wait till you got true leaves, you take it, you push it in. But most of these flowers are very shallow. The roots are very small. The plants are very small because of the type plants that I'm growing. So we are going to get those up potted. Now, the first thing that I needed to do to get these plants in order, to get the little seed starting cells together, I needed to add some seed starting mix. I buy my seed starting mix. I prefer to buy Jiffy seed starting mix. Here's a picture of the pack. And here's a short clip of how I went about deciding what cells I was going to use to up pot. Well, I'm trying to find the proper size containers for my flowers, and I'm going to go with a 10-20 tray, and I'm going to go with the 4-cell little seed starters here. And these are old, right? They're falling apart. This one's all broke up, but we are going to try to use these. This is a seed starting mix that we're going to fill these up with to up pot all of those flowers. That's if I can find enough good trays to do so. Oh, they're in bad shape, y'all. I might not even find enough. That one's in pretty good shape. So I'm just going to go ahead, fill the trays up. So there's the tray. I filled it up. I kind of pressed it down in the middle. And remember, we're putting transplants in here, so I know I'm going to have to add a little bit more soil around it, but there's one done. This is seed starting mix that has been sterilized. And so I push it down so I can make sure when I'm watering from the bottom, the water will wick up on the sides from the bottom. So I don't water from the top, water from the bottom. So I got to make sure that there's contact with the bottom of the little tray. And there we go. Nice full trays. And I have no idea exactly how many I need. So I'm going to try to get enough to fill up this entire 10-20 tray. So I will keep working on this process. And when I get done, I'll let you know what I ended up with. But y'all, with trays looking all bent up and broke up like this, we might have to go with some different types of trays. I think I may have used these for the last time. Some of them anyway. So let me finish up and then I will bring you back and at least show you how many trays I ended up with. But at the end of the day, I'm going to fill this whole tray up. The question will be, will they be the little 4 cells, or am I going to have to get it into these single cells like this? So this is like 2 for every, or 2 4 cells. This is like 2, where this would be 2 of these put together. Y'all, that makes no sense. 2 of these make up 1 4-cell tray. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll use as many of these as I can, and then I will switch over to these. And I would fill these up the exact same way. So I'll bring you back when I figure out what I'm going to end up with. Now that you've seen that video, you see I was struggling to find something small enough for up potting. We got what we got, y'all. We got what we got. And we are going to start with these mixed Coleus right here. I'm going to just pour these out into my hand so we can see what we're really working with. Look at this, y'all. They were getting ready to be root bound. You see that? I densely sow my plants, densely. That means there's a whole bunch of plants in here trying to find room to grow. And so I just pull them apart just like that. You see how I pull that one off? There's another, just like that. That's the process that we're going to use. Ooh, I hope I have enough trays for this, y'all. I might have to get my 6 cells out because there's a lot in here. And there's some little baby ones still trying to grow. Ooh, I may have grew too many Coleus this year. But we're going to make it work, y'all. We're going to make it work. I'm going to take the bigger, healthier ones. And so I got the 4-cell here. And this is a single, but I'm going to put one on either side of it. So I'm going to turn it into a double. And that should still give it plenty of room. Coleus can be planted with partial shade. That's why I like it, because around the front of my house, y'all, it never sees sun. Never, ever, ever, never sees sun. Coleus seems to be the only thing that works for me that has color. I like color, y'all. All right. These are all I can spare for now until I get these pulled apart. Let's see what we're working with. And see, I got nice big plants right here. And then look at all these baby plants trying to come up because the seeds are just so small. So I'm not going to worry so much about the little baby ones. I'm going to try to keep the big ones together. The containers, or the type flowers that I'm most excited about, y'all, that's going to be the impatiens. Those are the ones I'm super excited about. So I want to make sure I leave plenty of little seed cells for those. All right, that's it. And all of this that's left, y'all, and look, there are little baby ones trying to come up. That's compost now. We just ball it up and it becomes compost. Now we need to get these in, though. I'm going to make sure that I get the roots underneath the soil, and I usually try to bury them back to the depth they already was. That's what I try to do. I'm not always successful with that. Sometimes I go a little deeper, but the goal is back to the same depth. I think I have like 10 pots. It might only be 8 pots that I put Coleus in every year. And I usually put more than one plant in a pot. I got some really big pots that I put the Coleus in. Y'all see what I did? I just took all 4 of those little baby ones and stuck those right on down in there. So yeah, I don't have 4 in that one pocket. Yep, sure am. Let me finish this process with the coleus and then we will come back real quickly here and we're going to talk about these impatiens because that's what I'm impatient about. And we will spend a little bit of time on them. Coleus doesn't actually go in the garden, even though they bring in beautiful bees and pollinators and stuff once they start blooming. But I usually break the blooms off because that's not real. I don't really want it going to seed. But these go around the front of my home. They usually don't go in my garden. Plenty of sun in the garden, but not in the front of my home. But anyway, let me finish getting these in, and then we're going to come back and talk about the impatiens. All right, y'all, this is where we are so far. I turned 2 little cells like this, 2 of them, into all of these plants. Some of them are still kind of thick. I put more than one in a cell, but hey, that's where we are, y'all. I had to figure out how to do something. So I ended up with a total of, I got 16 plants and I got about 10, if I remember correctly, 10 containers to put 16 plants in. I do have one more batch of coleus that's not ready yet. Yeah, y'all, I bought another coleus seed. I did along the way. And it's not right, it's not quite ready yet. But when it gets ready, we'll up pot that one as well. And that will round out what I have from a coleus standpoint. But now, y'all, it's time for us to talk about the impatiens. So I have orange impatiens and I have a mix and a peppermint. The peppermint is still trying to come in, but these mix look pretty good. Pretty good. I was worried about having enough, and now I got too many, y'all. Way too many. But we're going to find a home for it. I put some impatiens in my green stalk, and they looked amazing last year. I had them randomly throughout the green stalks. I also had them in pots and they did amazing in the pots as well. I am looking to put quite a few of these in my green stalks for this upcoming season. I have one green stalk that I only put flowers in, and last year I put petunias in that green stalk, and that's all I put in the green stalk. And this year the goal was to do impatiens in that green stalk and then a little bitty wooden raised bed that's right beside it. That's the plan anyway. So I need to see just how many of these I have to do that. And the mix is probably what I'm going with. Since the peppermint and the mix are so similar, I can mix those together. The orange is going to be a whole nother story. So let's see how we do with the orange. All right. If Little Farm Dog will let me do this anyway, that's what I'm going to say. Little Farm Dog wants in my lap, but Little Farm Dog won't let me pick her up to put her in my lap. So she's not very happy right now. The root structure of these impatiens look really good. So I think we're in good shape. I really wish I could wait a little bit, y'all. I am going to try not to completely disturb this. Let me put it back. Because there's a whole bunch of seeds still trying to come up. And I don't want to lose those. We're going to have to do some surgery to get them out. I don't want to lose the ones that are still trying to come in. The reason why Little Farm Dog Buttons is barking at me is because she wants to get in and get to the lettuce. And I don't want her in my lettuce. So she's just going to have to be mad at me. She ran away. So I'm still planting these kind of thick. It looks like it's about 3 going in each one of my pockets. I don't want to lose any of these that are trying to come up. I got to take advantage of all of these. So I'm just giving them a light tug. And I'm pulling like 3 up at one time by giving it a light tug. And I'm putting 3 in a pocket. That's what I'm doing. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's where we are, and that's what we're doing. If it don't work, y'all, oh well. I can always go to the big box store and get some more. But I think this is going to work just fine. I really do. And I want a nice, big, thick bunch of them. When they're popping out of the pockets, I want them to be super thick and pretty. That's why I'm putting 2 or 3 per pocket, or 4 or 6. We will see how many we end up with. All right, there's one. And I'm going to do this for as many of the impatiens as I can because, y'all, I want a lot of impatiens. And then I'm going to have to pull my 6 cell out, is what I'm thinking, to really do this justice. So let me stay working on these impatiens, and we will just have some nice conversation while we're at it. How about that? Y'all, we are less than 2 weeks away, of getting all of our cool season crops outside. All of them. Less than 2 weeks. I'm so excited. I'm so ready for winter to be over. This seems to be the longest winter I can remember. And every time I think we're almost through it, we'll have some more snow or ice or sleet or freezing below zero temperatures. There's always something going on, but that's all right. In my mind, that's the land healing itself, right? You have to have a good winter to help with some of those unwanted insects, actually. You go several years without a good winter, you have horrible, horrible, unwanted insects in your garden. So I'm happy to have this nice cold winter so the land can heal itself. That's what I call it anyway. All right, y'all. I've up potted all of the first round of flowers. We're finished with the up potting, and yes, some of them are still pretty thick, but that's all right, y'all. It's going to be okay. But like I said, this is just the first round. Y'all know what? I got my second round of flowers right here. Right here is the second round. So let's talk about what we're going to start right now. I start my flowers depending on how long it takes for them to germinate and get large enough to go outside. So I've already planted my 10 to 12 weeks before, time to put them out. And now it's time for us to focus on the next round. And for the next round, the ones that we're getting ready to put out, I need to add them to my book here. So we are going to go ahead and add the next round. For the next round, we are only growing right now 2 different types of flowers. 2 different types. We also, okay, just to be honest, I had seeds show up today, y'all. That the last round of seeds that I've purchased showed up today. And in addition to some things I had no business ordering, I mentioned when I did my pepper seed starting, when I started 30 varieties, I mentioned there's a few more coming. Well, they showed up today. And I've already planted my sugar rush. I'm going to make some sugar rush hot sauce. And I don't remember ordering this, but somehow another chocolate beauty showed up in my cart and showed up in the mail today. So we went ahead and started those 2 already. But today we're really focusing on flowers, and the flowers that we're going to start today, there are only 2 kinds of flowers that we're going to start today and direct sow. We are going to start zinnias, and zinnias, where are my notes? Zinnias take about 4 to 6 weeks to be ready to go outside. We're going to go ahead and start them now because I don't want to have to do them at a later date. We're going to do 2 different types of zinnias. We are going to do the Persian carpet. This zinnia only gets up to about 15 inches, so it's a dwarf plant. Y'all, I like my dwarf plants. The other one that I'm going to do is lilliput, which is this one right here. And this one also is kind of dwarf. It only gets 16 to 18 inches in height. But I just thought that was absolutely beautiful for zinnias. All mixed different colors there. And then this one is just the standard zinnia that I'm used to seeing. It's mixed and they stay short. That's the 2 zinnias that we're going to start today. And then the second one, now all my flowers do work, y'all. I don't plant them just for the beauty. They have to work. And when I say they have to work, y'all, I mean, they got to bring those pollinators in. The pollinators are so important to me. So the second flower that we are going to grow right now is the marigolds. The marigolds can take anywhere from 7 to 9 weeks before they're ready to go outside. Marigolds, I plant them because they help deter unwanted guests into the garden. And that's because, y'all, they stink. I hate the smell of a marigold. And apparently a lot of the deers and rabbits and raccoons and skunks and squirrels and chipmunks and whatever else comes into the garden, they're not too fond of the marigolds either. Now, I did have a rabbit in my garden a few years ago, and that rabbit did not touch my marigolds, and I wonder why. Marigolds, 7 to 9 weeks prior to going out in the garden. And along like your these flowers along with your summer crops, like your squash and tomatoes and that kind of stuff, y'all, there's no reason to rush to put it out as soon as that last frost comes and goes. Give it a couple of weeks. Wait and let that soil warm up just a little bit. For the different marigold varieties, we are going to do, and all of my marigolds stay short. I don't like massive, jumbo, 5 foot tall plants taking away from my vegetables. I like short, more carpet level, dwarf style flowers in my garden. So we're going to do the cracker, or what is it called? Cracker Jack mix. I'm going to do that one. We're also going to do the superhero mix. Now, I got these seeds a long time ago from Harris Seeds, and here's a picture of it right there. These plants only get 10 to 12 inches tall. The Cracker Jack mix, does it say? Ooh, 24 to 36 inches tall, Cracker Jacks. Anyway, the Cracker Jacks, we're going to have to find a nice place for that because that's a little too much. But the superhero is right on target with a plant height of only 10 to 12 inches. And then we're going to do Jaguar, which is this one right here, which is really, really pretty. It only gets 12 inches tall as well. We're going to do, this probably won't even germinate. This seed is so old. This seed is 6 years old. But anyway, we're going to do this lemon drop. I bought it a long time ago, and it stays pretty small. It doesn't get super tall. I don't see the how tall it gets on here, but it says it's deer and rabbit resistant. Does it? Oh, 6 to 12 inches tall. Lemon drop. It's a French marigold. And then I'm going to also do this Sparky marigold. I got this from Azure Standard. It's not a pretty picture. If I can find one, I'll put it over here. And if I bought it, it must not get very tall, or otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. But it says that it's not your ordinary marigold. It says it's an unusual flower form that is wide and wavy. Okay? Vivid shades of deep orange and yellow. That's what it says. I'm assuming it doesn't get very tall either. So that's my other marigold. And that's what we're going to start from seed right now. The only other flower that I'm putting in my garden this year, there's only one other one, and we are going to direct sow it in the garden when it's time. And that is this teddy bear sunflower. Here's a picture of it here. It doesn't get really tall, y'all. I'm super excited about this. It only gets about 2 feet tall. It has, is that right? Teddy bear dwarf. It's an annual, a superb 2-foot variety with very compact 6-inch double golden blooms. Y'all, that's going to be pretty. If I can find a good picture, it's going to be right here. Now, there was no picture in there when I got these seeds, so I'm hoping this works. I've never grown sunflowers, y'all. How can I be a gardener and have never grown sunflowers before? But I haven't. So we are going to direct sow the sunflowers. Sunflowers need full sun. Marigolds, I didn't look it up. Full sun, but it can take partial sun. And the zinnias prefer full sun, but it can handle a little bit of partial sun as well. And I think that's all the information I needed to tell you. I'm going to have to put Farm Dog down so we can plant these seeds. Let's see what I need to do to plant them. Does it say? 1/4 inch for the marigolds. 1/4 inch, yep, for all of the marigolds. And then the zinnias are probably 1/4 inch as well. Yeah, 1/4 inch as well. That's how deep we're going to plant them. Now, I have a seed starting station over there. It's the Let Pot seed starting station. I had a couple extra empty pockets, so I'm going to put some of them over there, and then we're going to put 4 of them right here. So we're going to get those sown right now. Now, which 4 am I keeping? The marigolds. We're going to put the marigolds here and the zinnias over there. Now, I've been trying to improve my overall space down here so that I'm not like on top of everything. So, yeah, I put me a desk in. And I'm trying to clean this space up over here because I work down here and I need to get it comfortable for working. Ooh, y'all. Okay. I forgot how marigolds looked. I just remembered. So here we go. Let me show you. This is what a marigold seed looks like. It looks like a stick. That's what it looks like. And so this is Sparky. And I'm densely sowing like I always do. Y'all, I'm gonna have to pick my little farm dog up. She wants my attention really, really bad. So we are gonna pause this video and I'm gonna give my baby some attention. And then we will finish up in just a few minutes. But at least I got the Sparky in. The Sparky's in and it's covered up. And I'm going to spend some time with my farm dog and I will be right back. Well, I finished playing with farm dog and I was able to finish getting all of my flowers in. So we did these together. This is all the up potting. That's all this in this tray here is everything that we up potted, which y'all, this is good. This is going to be plenty of flowers for the garden. And in addition to the up potting, we started just a few more seeds out of this seed bunch here of our marigolds and of our zinnias. So the marigolds are in this tray right here. And then we put the zinnias over in our Let Pot seed starting station. So let me show you that as well. Well, I'm just showing you a little bit of everything, but they're in there. They're here and then across the back there. I did 2 cells of the lemon drop marigolds and I did 2 cells of the Parisian carpet zinnias. So they're in there mixed in with everything else in that Let Pot seed starting station that is on a heat mat. Now these will not be on a heat mat. Now I do have a heat mat, but I don't plan on putting these on the heat mat because I'm going to put these inside the grow tent underneath one of my fluorescent shop lights. And y'all, they get warm. They get very warm. So I think we'll be okay in there. And if they seem to be slow to germinate, then I will pull out my other heat mat and make sure that we give them a healthy start as well. But everything's in, y'all. Everything's in. So now let's take this and move this into the grow tent. So we are in here. I have it under this. I think this is a 10K. I don't know. Usually they see 5 or 6K, but I feel like these were 10K. I don't know. But these are shop lights. As long as your shop light is at least 5K, you're okay to start young seedlings. You don't need a grow light for your seedlings. But we got them in here. The soil was already kind of moist. I don't need to water this right now. I did spray the top of the little seeds that I started in this cell here as well as the cells over in the Let Pot system. But other than that, y'all, they're in and they're ready to go. All we got to do now is sit back and wait for them to grow, get big, and flourish. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. And if you did, consider subscribing to the channel. The channel is not only about flowers, it's not only about starting your seeds, it's not only about this indoor grow space that I'm in, but it includes cooking, preserving, and my outdoor garden as well. So until next time, and I hope there'll be a next time that you hang out with me at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.